This morning, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Mandela effect. So, the Mandela effect, I think you should Google it and look at it. It's basically the belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison versus he got out of prison after 27 years and became the first democratic president of South Africa. So there's two camps of memory, basically. Some believe he died, some believe he became president. And that effect is happening in different places in your life. It is happening in your life. And maybe you see it, maybe you don't. The next big one that I really saw is what happened with COVID. So I was living in LA at the time, and there were camps set up for the COVID victims. And all of those camps were empty. But on the news, they were reporting that the camps were full. So I was like, well, are they full or are they empty? You can't trust what's there because I'm looking at them and they're empty. Now, at the time, I had a couple friends still living in New York City, and one of them reported that they went to the hospital and the hospital was empty. There were not even doctors in the hospital. Like, there was nobody there. The ER was empty. It was like a ghost town in the hospital. There were other people that reported that the hospital was so overflowing that they were stacking bodies that had died from COVID. So, which one is true? And how can you navigate the world and make choices when you're not sure what the reality is? And here's the kicker that is maybe going to help and maybe not. The reality is they're both true. What? Yes. Because basically we're shifting timelines. And when you're shifting timelines, if you could have a step, like 1 foot in each timeline at the same time, which is what happened to me, which is why I saw both scenarios of COVID. I was not in either camp. I was sort of zoomed back and looking at the full picture. And I think that is one of the things, if you want to keep your sanity during this time, is one of the things you need to do is zoom back and observe the full picture and the full scope of what's happening. And you'll see the two timelines. You'll see it splitting and you'll observe it in your life. There's another thing that happened to me recently, which was very frustrating. I had a shirt. It was like a favorite shirt, and I put it in a spot, and I went on a trip for about a month and a half, and I came back and the shirt is missing. And then I started to question my own thinking, like, did I bring the shirt with me and leave it somewhere by accident? Or did I not leave it on that shelf? I mean, I've ripped my house apart at least 3 times looking for it. I called all the friends that I stayed with on my trip. I ripped apart my car because it was a road trip. This shirt, it's like it doesn't exist. It's just gone. And that is also, could be, the effect of a timeline jump. So just know that when these weird things are happening to you, this is the Mandela effect / it's timeline jumping. Another thing that happened, and you might find this in your life too, is you might pass a house and it's a certain color. And then the next day you pass that house and it's a different color. And you're like, what? Did they paint that house overnight? They didn't paint the house overnight. You've jumped timelines. And in the new timeline that you're in, that house was always that color. And you can find other people who've lived in that timeline who will swear that that house was always that color. And if you've got one foot in each timeline and you haven't actually chosen one yet, you will find both of those people. Some who believe it was red and some who believe it was blue. And that is kind of the interesting thing about timelines and the shifting of timelines, and how this feeds into what we're talking about here about birth is we are timeline shifting now. We're in it. It doesn't happen in 1 second. It happens over time. Very slow shifts over time. Things that you'll notice, like the Mandela effect or the COVID effect or Kristin's t-shirt effect. These are how it pertains is that the basis for human nature is shifting. Technology is, I don't want to say taking over, but kind of, the implanting of technology into the human body is happening. The cloning of the human body, the artificial womb, the creation, the cultivation of humans is happening. And so the way that the natural human is birthed is going to matter more in order to preserve the legacy of this particular vehicle. It's going to be like a classic car. I went to a car show the other day, and my favorite was the Ford Thunderbird. It was a 1957, I believe, Ford Thunderbird, and it had the trundle seat in the back. So cute. Baby pink. It was gorgeous with a white interior. It's a classic. And if you like classics, well, this human body is going to be a classic. And not only is it going to be a classic, but it's going to get restored to its innate abilities, which, like I said before in the last video, is a pure divine connection. Because, again, you are the conduit for source. The updated mechanical human, the new wave of human, is not going to have that connection. They're going to have a different connection, probably a Wi-Fi connection. But it's not going to be that specific connection to source that the organic human has. So it's going to be a classic. We are classics. But the nice thing that's going to happen is the upgrade of that classic. It's going to be restored into its full glory, which we haven't actually seen yet. Only a few people have had that, like Jesus and Buddha. Some of the great masters. There's many more, but I'm not going to do a list. You Google that. There are many great masters, and basically we're going to a place where the organic human, they're all masters, because you are divinely connected to the one, and you will know all, see all, be all, and be able to accomplish all in real time. And so that's the Mandela effect, and that's what I woke up thinking about this morning. So I wanted to share that with you. And it's a little bonus episode this week. All right, you guys, have fun out there and stay grounded. Get your feet on the earth. And remember, love is the law.